we have the next question, please?
Good evening, PM Lee. My name is Bernard Sim. I'm from NUS Arts and Social Sciences. Okay, the question I would like to ask is whether the fourth generation PM will be contesting in an SMC. With the fourth generation leaders, the A team, probably coming from the new batch of PAP candidates, and with most of the new candidates set to contest in GRCs, it is of concern that the fourth generation PM may be one who enters politics and parliament by riding on the coattails of other ministers. This is a concern because the fourth generation PM should be one who start off his political career by getting into parliament through contesting in an SMC, proving that he has won the support of his constituents by his own merits, just like PM yourself, SM Goh and MM Lee. The first three generations of PM have proven themselves to be leaders of leaders by winning the respect and support of the constituents. Will it be the same for the fourth generation PM? Thank you.
I don't follow your argument. You look at Teo Chee Hean. You didn't include him in your list of potential leaders, but if you ask who in the cabinet potentially can be a PM, he's my deputy prime minister, and he is one of them. And he is helming Pasir Ris Punggol GRC as the leader of the GRC, as the anchor person. Do you doubt that if he stood in a single, he would win? I don't think so. Did he come in on a single? No. He came in Marine Parade in a by-election in 1992, Marine Parade GRC with Mr. Goh Chok Tong as the anchor minister. People didn't know him. He was new. He was newly retired from the Navy, as the gentleman just now said. So he needed time to find his feet. He went into Marine Parade. Within one term, he found his feet. The voters got to know him. Next term, in 1996, he went to, at that time it was called Pasir Ris GRC. He won. The people we are bringing in now are not ready to be PM today. But somebody amongst them or amongst the next batch, but I hope amongst the earlier ones, one day I hope will be the PM. And by the time he is a PM, he must be able to stand up and say, I am here as of right and with the full support of Singaporeans. The path there, we will try to make it so that it works. But at the same time, he has to prove himself each step of the way. And I think that we've got this system. It's an effective, successful way to induct people.
Thank you very much, PM Lee. Thank you, Bernard. As our time is running out, we only have about 5 minutes left. PM Lee, would you agree that I propose to collect about 2-3 questions?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, can we have the 2 students here to ask the questions before PM Lee answers them at one go?
Yeah, hi, Mr. Lee. I'm a 4th-year political science student. My name is Nicholas. I'll keep my question short. I agree with you that the government has done an excellent job in transforming our country into one that's among the best globally. And this has been proven out with regard to figures and statistics. My concern in this aspect would be with regard to the non-quantifiable aspects of governance that has been overlooked. So returning to an analogy of the plane ride, you talked about how the plane needs to fly higher and faster. But perhaps are we overlooking the fact that the passengers themselves need to be kept happy and that they would not feel discomforted by the faster and higher rides that we are planning for them? So the question, to re-summarize again, would be, what are your views on this? And perhaps what would the government and the next generation of leaders be looking to address this issue?
Take another.
Yeah, the next question, please.
Thank you. My name is Sebastiano Ruingabo, Political Science Department, and I'm Ugandan. Considering the socio-economic transformations that are taking place in the region and Singapore's demographic labor dynamics, how prepared is the forthcoming generation of leaders to contend with the strategic, demographic, and labor demands and expectations and challenges of Singapore? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. So if PM Lee can answer...
Why not take 1 or 2 more?
Sure, definitely. Next question, please.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Lee. My name is Houston Johannes. I'm from the National University of Singapore Law Faculty. I'm a third-year student. I have a question related to the previous gentleman about ministerial salaries. Senior Minister Goh has recently said in the newspapers that they are having trouble attracting people from the private sector to join the PAP to form the leadership team. However, I see that the opposition has managed to attract many people from the private sector. So I'm curious, sir, why is it that the high salaries and the potential of a leadership position has not attracted these people from the private sector, but the people from the private sector have gone to the opposition instead? So is there something fundamentally wrong, or should we revise the old chestnut of the paying top dollar for top talent? Thank you.
Thank you, Johannes. PM Lee, would you like to take another question? Or would you like to answer?
Take another question, and I'll
Certainly.
wrap it all up.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Jonathan Lee, second year, NUS Graduate School. With regards to the question put forward by the previous gentleman over here, I think in a bit of an effort to try and address that as well, this general feeling that with the GRC system, the new candidates are coming in and not having to contest and not being able to prove their mettle. So this being the fourth generation of leadership, and the key of leadership being the ability of these candidates to connect with people at the ground, would it not help to address all these rumblings on the ground to have as many of these new candidates as possible running in an SMC so they can show that they truly can connect with the ground before they get nurtured for higher leadership?
Thank you for your question.
Okay. I think the GRC question I've really addressed earlier. I don't want to go over the points again. I've explained why I think it makes sense to bring in people through the GRCs, and in time they must establish themselves. Whether they are in the GRC or in a single, they must add value to the slate. If they don't, the PAP knows what to do. I mean, it doesn't serve us any purpose to carry passengers. We are looking for the best people, and we're looking for the best way to bring them in and get them established as strong leaders. The private sector, why the opposition has got people and the government haven't, I'm not sure whether we are looking for exactly the same people. There are a lot of people in the private sector. We are looking for a certain type of person, certain job specifications, and not just job specifications, but also commitment, integrity, purpose. And when you're going into the opposition, when you're going to the government, I'm not sure the job specs are the same. So the difficulty bringing people in from the private sector, I would say with the salaries where they are now, the salary is not the major factor. We can bring people in, they will do the job. It's a realistic salary, they will take the sacrifice. The challenge with bringing people in from the private sector is because they're already set in their careers, and they know what they're doing. To come in, change track, change system, change thinking. May succeed, may not succeed. High risk to them. Not high risk to us, because if we bring them in, it doesn't work, well, we just throw them back out. But supposing you're one of those who might be thrown back out, you might not look at it with such equanimity. And that is a challenge. The demographic and labor question, is the fourth generation leadership aware of this? I think they must be aware of this. The third generation is also very aware of this. We have no solution to the demographic problem now. We've got many babies incentives. Results almost zero. Conclusion, we should do away with the baby incentives. But we have them, and we have just to tell people, please try harder. And the fourth generation will have no magic solution either. As for non-quantifiable aspects of growth, I think having a healthy family life and a good work-life balance is one of them. And you're quite right. We have to watch not just GDP numbers, but also the quality of life, also the cohesion of our society, and how To say that we will make people happy, I think that's a very ambitious job for any government. It is beyond the power of the government to order people to be happy. But to make the conditions where people can express themselves and their talents and their abilities and their interests and live in a peaceful, stable, congenial environment. And I think we can make this one of the best environments in the world to live. Small as the island is and crowded as the island is. I think that is something which we can do. So we are not solely focused on GDP. We need GDP to grow so that we can do many good things, but we also must make sure that in Singapore, people have balanced, fulfilling, wholesome, and happy lives.
Thank you very much, PM Lee. And I see that our time has run out, so thank you very much for all your active participation and your questions. Well, if I may conclude from a young person's perspective, there have been 3 salient points that have struck me this evening. Firstly, leadership renewal is a cornerstone of democratic governance. However, the issue to consider is to what extent should the process of leadership renewal be a continuation of the current existing values, or should the process be a rupture of the current existing structure? Secondly, I believe that the notion of young leaders have come up quite a bit in today's discussion. And to me, the need to balance the experience of our previous leaders, yet simultaneously ensuring that the young leaders have adequate space to grow is very important. And last but not least, with regards to leadership renewal and the theme of today, I believe that the subjective notion of leadership renewal in itself begs a certain question. To what extent should the search for leaders be an organic process, and to what extent should it be an organized, well-controlled process? Perhaps only time will tell. And PM Lee, if you would like to conclude by giving some closing remarks or word of advice for all of us here.
I've already said my piece. But it's about your future, it's about our country, it's about what we can do together. Make it work.
Thank you very much, PM Lee.
Thank you, Prime Minister Lee.